Hey, so Nick and I stumbled across a big post by a Grandmaster's Terran player called Warden who likes to go for 1-1-1 into Mass Siege Tank Blue Flame, Banshee, Viking, Marine, Ghost kind of stuff. Um, and one of the most impressive things about the big long post was this scouting chart where you scout with an SCV and then you scout with a Hellion, and you get to try to decide what your opponent is doing based off what you see at 2 minutes and 5 minutes, which is if you see this and then you see that, then you know it's this, and so on and so forth. And that's really cool, but it requires it's 5.5 minute scout. So you can make a Reaper and get a 5.5 minute scout, right? You don't need to go Hellion, but whatever. So that's one of the cool things. The second cool thing, of course, is the idea that there is a late game composition for Terran that does well against late game Protoss compositions, because we all know that infantry medevac is the standard go-to TvP strategy, but it basically can only win if your economy is better and you manage to do some harassment and lots of drops and random stuff. Like if you just death ball versus death ball, the Protoss death ball will win every time. Yeah, so we're trying this out. Well, not we, Nick is trying this out. I'm not going to try this out. This looks stupid. But obviously it's not stupid because, like I said, Wardens are Grandmasters, so he wouldn't lie to us. And it must work. It must. It's always very intriguing when, you see like the Spanishiwa Zero Gas Zerg thing or the Iacoic Blue Flame Banshee thing, like where people take units that nobody else uses in that matchup and are like, look how powerful this is. I don't know why no one else is doing this. And then all of a sudden the entire metagame shifts and everyone starts doing it. So that's cool and everything, but I don't know that we should be switching what we do just because someone else found something cool, because then immediately Blizzard nerfs it and you can't do that anymore, and then you're like, oh, well, I guess that was cool for a bit. So since this Warden post came out, Blue Flame got nerfed, and Immortals got buffed to counter the heavy siege tank composition. So, two nerfs that affect this build. I feel like coming to learn a build now after it's been nerfed twice might be bad choice. So, I think Nick just saw... Yeah, he saw... one gas. Is this low energy? I would say that's low energy. That means expansion, right? Doesn't it? Okay, I guess in this case it means warp gate. 4 warp gate. So this is gonna be a 4 gate? No, it's gonna be a 4 gate Stargate, but Nick doesn't see that. Anyway, the next scout was with the Hellion is supposed to come at 5:30, and he has nothing to defend. So not only could Nick probably have gotten several probe kills and stopped mining, but he definitely could have scouted the base and seen the Void Rays and the warp gates coming. So it feels to me like you only need 4 warp gates if you're planning to warp up. So he's planning to do a warp up. He's going to use the Void Ray for vision and then do a warp up. Let's see what percentage of this Nick actually gets to see. Don't try to kill any probes, baby. You got to see stuff. Oh, he's not going to see stuff. Alright, so all he saw was the nothing. He didn't see a single thing. Luckily he did see those pylons, so that's cool. Here comes the Void Ray. Here comes the warp up. Alright, so now we got the question, is this a valid army to be fighting with at 7 minutes? Now obviously, because there's a bunch of units that got stuck down on the low ground, the answer is probably going to be no, but let's take a look. Okay, Protoss has spent 1100 at 7 minutes. This is not at all a valid army to be fighting with at this time, and it's just dumb. Protoss should wait for the next warp in for sure, like he's doing. Alright, now this is a valid army to be fighting with. See? Look at that. 2,000 is much better than 1,200. So the second Void Ray should be here. Where the heck is the second? Is there a second Void Ray? No, there isn't. That's crazy. Yeah. So even though 2,000 at 7.5 minutes is a huge army, a big chunk of that was the Void Ray that hasn't popped yet. So that's the problem with builds like this, the Void Ray build. So here comes another Void Ray and another warp up. And here we go. But Nick says, oh, guess what? I have Vikings. What's up? Vikings in a bunker. You can't hurt me. I am unhurtable. None can hurt. So this is one of the styles of builds that I was really skeptical that you could beat with just one one reactor cord Rax making on upgraded Marines, and I'm impressed that Nick beat it. But the question, I guess, to me is, did Nick beat this player, or did this build counter that build? Not counter, but did this build survive that build? Because 3 units on the low ground, you know, that just don't even get to participate. Could Nick have beaten 10 Zealots, 1 Stalker, and 1 Void Ray at this point with these units? I don't think he could have. And that's what the Protoss should have had, because those are the units he warped in. He just didn't warp them all in onto the high ground, and he delayed the Zealots until just now. But this Viking is out pretty quick. It's out at 7 minutes and 36 seconds. And man, pure Zealot is so scary. Seriously, if you get Zealots in a situation where you don't have a wall-in that can hit your Marines, you're just like doomed. There's nothing you can do against Zealots. So crazy scary Zealots. But this dude keeps missing warp-ins. Like, it'd be nice to have a warp-in right now. Oh, I can't. And he keeps making Void Rays. Like, you don't need Void Rays anymore, buddy. You have 4 warp gates. You have high ground vision. Just keep making Zealots. Zealots and Guardian Shield. So 15 workers down. $800 in the bank. Obviously we know from the name of the replay that Nick's gonna win, but I don't know that I would call this a build victory. Because like a really good player who's comfortable in the late game, you've lost down to 13 workers. He's just gonna throw down a Nexus, get a crap ton of workers, and be done, you know? It's ridiculous. And where did all of Blue's workers go? Did he lose workers, or did he just never make them? He just never made workers. So this is kind of a crazy build. It's a 4-gate Void Ray. I don't like it. But yeah, Nick has not once lost to Void Rays, like to the actual Void Rays. He's faced it 3 times, and every time the Viking saved the day. The Void Rays got pushed back. And sometimes he loses after that, but it's nice to know that the Void Rays themselves haven't killed him. So, it's cool. I didn't believe you, Nick, but I believe you now. The wall-in plus bunker and a Viking can stop Void Rays even with only a tiny smattering of Marines. Anyway. Oh. Ta-da! Good job, dude. Good job. I'm losing my voice. There's only one more game, I think.